Ready, Sally?
Grimore, I've been standing here for 7.5 minutes.
Just checking.
Do you have the map?
Yeah, but it's basically blank. Did you read the case file? What do you think?
I'm not sure yet. It's really not a lot to go on. Did you read it?
Yeah, I'll read it on the way to the crime scene.
So, who do you think did it?
Sally, you know full well we haven't met a single suspect yet. We haven't even been to the crime scene.
Still, I reckon I've got it all worked out.
What?
Hawk, bear...
Right, of course. A hawk bear lizard. It's a statue of some hideous, scaly, bipedal fish monster.
Playing a harp.
Playing a harp. Hang on a second. This isn't just a regular statue, is it?
Something tells me we're not gonna solve this just yet.
Let's come back later. It must do something.
You'd hope so, wouldn't you?
It's a stone carving. Wonder how it got cracked.
I think it's supposed to look like that. It's an egg.
It's a path through the garden. Leads up to the house, I assume.
It's a bandstand.
Bit small for a bandstand.
It's a one-man bandstand. Spooky. What do you think it's for?
I think it's to scare away detectives.
Is it working?
No. It's quiet.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to say, too quiet?
It's not. It's an appropriate amount of quiet.
Should we ring the doorbell?
Why would we not? It's a little melody. Oh.
What?
Oh. There's an O on the floor.
Oh yeah. Tangle Tower.
Twir. Oh.
What?
Oh,
Tangle.
twir. Is that an envelope?
It's been opened, but the letter's still in there. Let's read it.
Isn't that an invasion of someone's privacy?
No, definitely.
Do you think he'll start to move if we try to go inside?
No, I think he'll just silently judge us.
Don't think it's locked.
Well, that means we can just walk straight in, right?
I'm pretty sure that's the rule, yeah.
A path leading towards the stone square. Now it's a big glass tube filled with water.
There are weeds in there. And sand.
It's an aquarium?
Could be. Except there's nothing living in it. Anymore.
What is that?
I think it's a family tree.
Felix Fellow. Looks like he married his way into the Remington family.
Do you think he still lives here?
Buck Brackley.
What a name.
Do you think he still lives here? Fiona Fellow, dead center. She must be important.
She's half fellow and half Remington.
Do you think she still lives here? A big letter F.
Of course. Who doesn't hang a giant banner of their initial in the lobby of their mansion? This one has a big P.
That's probably important.
How very perceptive of you.
Stairs.
Finally, we get to investigate a murder in a spooky mansion.
It's not that spooky, really.
Don't ruin this.
It's not locked.
A door.
Oh, what's behind it?
A room. Let's head to the crime scene first. It's at the top of the West Tower, I think.
Let's take a look at that painting first. There it is. The unfinished portrait of Flora Fellow.
So, what? Freya was killed halfway through painting it?
Looks that way.
I wonder if all of Freya's paintings are this creepy. Maybe it's just because she never got to finish it.
There's something wrong with the crime scene. And something really weird about the murder weapon.
We didn't find a murder weapon.
The paintbrush is completely covered in blood because it stabbed Freya. Nope. Paintbrush is completely covered in red paint because it stabbed Freya. That's not right. Paintbrush was used to kill Freya Fellow because it stabbed Freya. That's not right either. A gramophone was used to knock out Freya Fellow because Freya put it there. That's not right either. Flora's portrait is completely covered in blood, but it was removed from the scene. That's not right either. Flora Fellow is holding a knife tipped with blood because it stabbed Freya. Almost. Maybe just change one thing. Flora Fellow is holding a knife tipped with red paint because it stabbed Freya. That's not right either. Flora Fellow is holding a knife tipped with blood, but it was removed from the scene. That's not right either. Flora Fellow is holding a knife tipped with blood because Freya put it there. That's not right either. Flora Fellow is holding a knife tipped with blood because it stabbed Freya. Almost. Maybe just... Flora's portrait is holding a knife tipped with blood because it stabbed Freya.
What?
Weird, huh?
You think Freya was stabbed by a painting. Not by the woman from the painting, but by the painting itself.
Mm-hmm. Freya was standing right up by the canvas when she was killed. There's blood on the knife. It's the murder weapon.
Right, but it's not actually a knife. It can't stab.
See any other knives around here? Case closed.
The case is not closed. And even if you were right, where does that leave us? A painting can't be a murder suspect.
The outline of Freya Fellow. Looks like she fell onto her back. There's a single patch of blood, right in the middle. No real signs of a struggle.
That's weird.
What?
Her feet were right up by the canvas.
So?
So she was probably standing really close to the canvas when she fell.
Let's check the case file again. Is that a gramophone?
I think so. Except it's got a tape deck instead of a turntable.
It's also got a big crack down the middle.
What about the cassette tape?
Yeah, it sure is. Pink.
Do you think it still works?
The gramophone? Yeah, we could give it a go. It's piano music. Flora Fellow?
Hey, sorry to barge in. I'm sure you're still in some distress.
We need to ask you a few questions, I'm afraid.
Did you witness the murder, Flora?
Nothing. What do we do?
Not sure. She's entitled to her silence, I suppose.
For now. Flora Fellow?
Hey, sorry to barge in. I'm sure you're still...
We need to
Did you witness the murder?
Nothing. What do we do?
Not sure. She's entitled to her silence, I suppose.
For now. Is there anything you'd like to tell us, Flora? I don't really know anything about you at all.
I think that's the way she likes it. We'll just have to ask other people about her.
Yeah, okay.
Freya was painting your portrait yesterday. Is that right?
Was this something you had planned with her ahead of time?
Was there something special about yesterday?
Did you talk to Freya at all while she was painting you?
She's not going to answer us, is she?
Nope. But at least we can say we tried. Flora, you were definitely in the room at the time of the murder. Surely you must have seen something? Can you tell me anything about what happened to Freya? She's acting pretty suspicious if you ask me.
I don't know. Maybe she really doesn't know anything.
How is that possible? Anything we should know? Any hobbies besides staring out the window? Were you close with Freya? How are you two related? Did you kill Freya?
Grimoire!
What? I don't even think she's listening.
Oh, she's listening.
Did you ask Freya to paint this? Or was it her idea?
What is that you're holding in the painting, Flora? Some people have been saying it's a knife. Is this your gramophone?
Do you know why it's cracked? Half the room is a big open window.
I don't know if you can call It's it more the like- sudden absence of wall. Is that an egg? An egg.
It's also what a completely ordinary object.
I think it's a container for something.
Those gems look like they come off.
It's some kind of clue about where to put the gemstones.
Nope.
Did you check the clue on the back of the egg? I'm pretty sure it explains where to put each of the gemstones.
I guess that's wrong.
What's the deal with those last means something?
Nothing.
Each line connects two slots, forming pairs. The exact same pairs are represented in the... They're just rearranged and rotated.
No, that was it.
Nice work. Did it unlock? What's in there?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Well, I'm not leaving without a clue. An empty egg is a clue, right? We're at the top of the tower, right?
I think so. Why?
Doesn't matter. It's nothing.
Locked. little hand-painted statue.
How can you tell it's hand-painted?
Well, the paints are right there on the desk. Also, I mean, no offense, but you can just tell.
Puffer fish?
Yes, it's also a lamp, for some reason. A hammock. It's kind of worn out.
I would politely describe it as lived in. What is it?
He's an imp.
What does he do?
Well, if you tell too many lies, he appears at the end of your bed in the middle of the night.
Oh.
Nice. A real treasure chest.
How do you know there's treasure in there?
Why else would it be locked? Plus, there's a treasure map hanging directly above it. What's the deal with that painting on the front?
Not sure. We should check that treasure map too.
Nothing.
Did you check the treasure map for clues? And what about that painting on the chest itself?
Still locked.
I think there's a connection between the painting. Like they're different versions of the same thing.
That's done it.
Neat. What was in the box?
More wooden models. These are a little different to the one on the desk.
Sir? Can you hear me? I'm Private Detective Grimoire. I have some questions for you.
Grimoire. Good mysterious name. I'd rather like it. Felix Fellow at your beck and call.
And, this is my colleague, Sally.
Yeah, that's a perfectly good name as well.
Thanks.
If you would, Mr. Fellow, we really need to ask you about the murder.
I must say I'm rather jealous of you two.
Oh yeah? Why's that?
Out here solving mysteries, exploring new places, uncovering secret rooms, hidden treasures. That's what life is all about.
Secret rooms?
Generally speaking, you know, that sort of thing.
So, Felix, what exactly do you, do?
Is it not obvious? I'm an explorer. Explorer/treasure hunter. Yes, well, best in the world.
We're talking like curse statues, spike pits.
It's a little more sophisticated than that. But I've certainly seen my share of danger, if that's what you're asking.
And, if I may ask, when did you retire?
You listen here. I may be between ventures right now, but it's simply not in my nature to stay in one place for too long. I go wherever the winds of destiny take me.
Don't you live here with your wife and daughter?
Yes, well, the Fellow family has certain loyalties, and with Flora the way she is...
Nothing wrong with raising a family, Mr. Fellow.
Don't misunderstand me. Fiona and Flora are my entire world. They are the greatest treasure of all.
Uh-huh.
Why on earth would you want to know about that?
The murder of Freya Fellow. The reason we're here?
Ah, right. Nasty business. Very unfortunate. I regret that I can't be of any help, but I wish you all the best in your investigation.
Hear that, Grimoire? We're done here. Let's go.
It's a simple question, Felix. I'm sure you're up to it.
Well, there's not much to tell. Mostly, I was in my room by myself, working on Flora's, working on a project.
Your room is quite close to Flora's tower. You didn't hear anything unusual?
What qualifies as unusual?
What have you got?
It was dusk. A feeling lingered in the air. Malevolent, perhaps. Uncertain as life itself.
Abridged version, please.
Right. Fine. I heard someone heading down the stairs, just outside my room. The footsteps were calm, orderly, so I thought nothing of it. Shortly afterward, I heard a second set of footsteps, going the same way. This time I could tell just from the sound that something was wrong. So I looked out into the hallway. I got a glimpse of Poppy disappearing down the staircase to the floor below. Didn't know what to make of it, to be honest. I thought perhaps she'd had a disagreement with Fitz, as I know those two are close. So I looked into his room, just in case, but it was empty, as was the garden beyond his window. Back in the hallway, I bumped into a very concerned-looking Penelope. She was heading up Fellow Tower to find Professor Pointer, so I escorted her. We went into Flora's room. Poor Freya was laying on the floor. Fiona, Poppy, Fitz, and Pointer were there already. Flora, too, of course. Soon enough, everyone else made their excuses and left.
Including you?
Not I. I stayed. Flora needed me. Dearest Flora, a remarkable woman. Yes, been married over 20 years now.
You two still get on?
Of course. What a question.
She hasn't gone quiet on you.
It's true she has an independent streak. She's had it her whole life. She's the youngest of 3. Always something of a lone wolf, you know? Just the way she is.
Lone wolf is putting it lightly. She doesn't seem to want to talk to anyone.
She just likes time to herself, away from the company of other humans.
Other humans?
Well, yes, other people, you know. You're the one currently basking in his presence. You tell me.
Let's move on.
Uncommonly skilled as an artist, but Freya was so much more than her talent. She helped me get started with my own painting, you know. It taught me what she knew about wood carving, too. Tremendous patience. She was ever so good with dear Flora.
Freya and Flora were close?
Oh, yes, especially recently.
How are you related to Freya?
Somewhat distantly, as it happens. My father, Lord Fellow, was her grandfather. Technically, that makes her a fellow. Let's just say there was some discussion over whether she ought to carry the name at all. There's a family tree in the Grand Hall. You should take a look at it.
What about her inheritance?
Freya's parents died when she was around 3 years old. She came to live here shortly afterwards.
Nobody left her a thing?
I'm afraid not. She had no formal claim over anything at Tangle Tower.
It's a little glass box.
I think it's a vivarium.
Come again?
See the leaves and twigs in there? Might have been for keeping insects.
A pillow with a paw print pattern.
It's a cushion.
Yeah, but that doesn't alliterate.
That painting is really something.
Why would you want it looming over your bed like that?
Maybe Freya enjoyed the atmosphere it creates.
The atmosphere of chaos and oppression?
Hang on. There's a smaller version down by the floor.
It's a photograph. It's a fish, I think?
I think it looks more like a whale.
Fine, it's a whale.
Could also be a shark. Freya's bear.
Looks pretty
He's
depressed.
had a rough couple of days.
Do you think this was always supposed to be a bedroom?
I don't know. It is kind of a weird shape.
No windows either. Do you think this was always supposed
I don't
to
know.
No windows either? Drawings taped up
What's
on the
that one on the left?
wall. Looks like 2 people standing together in a garden. One of them's holding a red rose.
It's an illustrated book about birds.
It's been left open. Looks like somebody was halfway through reading it.
Or It was left open for us to find.
Ever so slightly unnerving. Books about ancient history, I think.
These books are ancient history. I think they'd crumble into dust if I tried to pick them up.
Good excuse.
Thanks.
Is that a snow globe?
Of sorts. Hey, look at that. It's a model of Tangle Tower. There's the lake and those weird mountains. What are you thinking?
That would make an amazing souvenir.
Hey, look at that. It's a model. What do you
That
think?
would make an amazing... What's in those bottles?
I'm not sure. Soil samples?
Curious. I would expect bacteria.
Excuse me.
Taking all the environmental factors into account, there must be something I am still missing.
May I talk to you, miss?
She knows we're here. She just doesn't care.
I am a detective, and I need to talk...
Correction. You do not need to talk to me.
Oh no? How come?
Because I am not a suspect. I am completely innocent of any and all crimes.
Thanks for letting me know.
Speaking of which, you have now been at Tangle Tower for over 23 minutes. Surely you have already reached a sturdy hypothesis.
A hypothesis? About the murder?
Yeah, come on, Grimoire, hurry up.
My apologies. Unfortunately, protocol dictates I must at least meet all the suspects. And that includes you. So, could you tell me your name?
Fifi Fellow, microbiologist, inventor, innovator. You will need to be more specific. Oneself cannot be summarized in a single response without doing one a great disservice.
So true.
Well, first of all, you're a fellow. So does that make you the daughter of...
Correct. My father and mother are named Flora and Felix, but you need not question either of them. It will only waste valuable time. Neither of them are capable of murder.
Thanks for the tip.
Fifi, you said you were a micro... something or other?
Microbiologist, but it is an insignificant label. My studies cannot be categorized in any one recognized field.
What made you want to become a scientist in the first place?
I harbor an intrinsic fascination with the microscopic. I constructed my first one at age 10.
Constructed a microscope?
Correct.
And what's that thing on your head? Did you make that too?
My eyesight began to deteriorate when I turned 12. Not satisfied with the eyeglasses prescribed to me, I designed this custom lens instead. It automatically adjusts based on the surrounding light conditions.
Does it glow red when you get angry?
No, but that would be most amusing. What can you tell me about the murder?
What can you tell me about... Wait, that's what I'm supposed to ask you.
Yes, however, you were too slow.
You fancy yourself a detective too, Fifi?
I just need to know what happened.
Me too. So talk.
Fine. I knew ahead of time that Freya was going to be busy with her painting all day, so I had planned to spend the afternoon with Poppy. I was in the library all morning preparing the equipment for an experiment, only to find out that Poppy had made other plans and she was in fact planning to ignore me completely.
Oh.
So what did you do instead?
I locked myself in my room and cried.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Why?
I don't know, it just sounds kind of sad.
It is not unusual.
Oh. Good.
I was in my room. The lights were off and the door was locked. Someone began banging on the door. I ignored it until the someone began shouting at me. I opened the door. Poppy came into my room. Her makeup was leaking. She told me Freya was dead. I did not believe it. I thought she was playing a trick on me, so I punched her in the face. She insisted that we go up to Flora's tower. We left the room, and Poppy's father was waiting outside. He followed us upstairs. When I saw Freya lying on the floor, I was completely and utterly devastated. Then, I took a sample of the red paint on the unfinished painting. Poppy and I took the sample back downstairs to the library. We performed a test and found out that it was, in fact, blood.
You performed that scientific test immediately, even though you were feeling so upset?
Of course. Why would one affect the other? Name, Flora Fellow. Age, 44. Profession, unknown. Likes, unknown. Dislikes, unknown.
Isn't she your mother? How do you not know anything?
I believe other people may have discovered methods of reaching her, but I have little capacity for interpreting nonverbal communication.
And how long has Flora been non-verbal?
She has always been quiet, willing to speak when necessary, but not more.
So what happened to make her stop talking entirely?
She suffered a great loss, something she has been unable to move beyond. Name, Felix Fellow. Age, 53. Profession, none. Likes, collecting objects of negligible monetary value and assigning them personal value. Dislikes, the inescapable realities of human existence. Notes, Felix is my father and legal guardian.
And, is he a good dad?
I have no point of comparison, but I would say no.
No? Why not?
You asked me a binary question. Do not get upset that I provided one of the two possible answers.
What makes him a bad father, Fifi?
He has trouble expressing his emotions, and something of a willful detachment from reality.
Huh. Just like you, then.
Grimoire.
No, he is quite correct. Name, Fiona Fellow. Age, 19. Profession, amateur microbiologist. Likes, the meaningful archiving of information. Dislikes, the superfluous window dressing accompanying the majority of human contact. Notes, kindly disregard the polysyllabic form of my given forename and refer to me instead as Fifi.
How come you prefer Fifi?
How come you prefer Grimoire?
How are you related to the other fellows?
Fitz is my cousin. His father, a man named Flint, was my uncle.
Was?
I do not know if Flint is alive or not. He left Tangle Tower a long time ago.
And what about Freya? How are you related to her?
We share exactly one grandparent. Name, Freya Fellow. Age, 19. Profession, artist. Deceased. Understand this. Most people find me difficult. They exhibit a noticeable degree of discomfort when talking to me. There it is. Freya, who had a way of being an exception to any given rule, was not at all like this. She is very important, and I will not rest until I understand what has happened to her.
Did you spend a lot of time with Freya recently?
I will say this. In the past year, Freya became 1. Increasingly independent, and 2. Increasingly isolated.
Do you know why?
I do not. If you are looking for a speculative, empathetic opinion, try asking Poppy instead.
The three of you were friends.
We are of a similar age, and all highly gifted. 1 scientist, 1 artist, and 1 musician.
Sounds like quite a team.
What is your opinion of Tangle Tower?
Oh, it's impressive. Elaborate gardens, unique architecture.
Must be worth a fortune.
Why do you ask, Fifi?
I am the heir of the Fellow family and the Remington family. This makes me the sole beneficiary of Tangle Tower.
That's quite an inheritance.
They can't make you do anything, Fifi. If you don't want the house, just tell them. Or just sell it. Who cares?
You sound like her. I require facts. What do you know?
Well, we know Freya was stabbed with a knife, and then she fell—
Correction. She was stabbed with something. There was no knife found at the crime scene.
Apart from the one in the painting.
Which, as a mere abstract representation, does not count. Nobody has ever been stabbed by the concept of a knife. The statue itself does not interest me, but I do wish to know about those symbols on the harp. Have you deciphered their meaning yet?
We're working on it.
We are?
Curious. Freya is normally highly skilled at capturing someone's likeness, but in this painting, she has accidentally made Flora look quite young.
I think she was just being kind.
Why is that kind? Anyway, I'm far more interested in what Flora is holding. I performed the test on the red paint myself. I discovered that it was in fact not paint, but blood.
What made you want to test it in the first place?
It was Poppy. She told me she thought the painting looked like a bloody knife. I told her not to be ridiculous. My mother owns no such knife. But then I noticed that the color was slightly too dark, and the substance itself was overly viscous.
You noticed that just from looking at it once?
Of course. The gramophone belongs to Poppy, but I believe she gave it to my mother, and my mother often loaned it to Freya. Or maybe it is the other way around.
When did it get cracked?
I cannot pinpoint it exactly. All I know is that it must have happened sometime in the last 2 days.
Is she laughing?
That belongs to my mother. I think she must be fond of eggs. There are a number of egg-shaped carvings to be found in the garden and in the Grand Hall.
Yeah, what's the deal with all the eggs?
Some people just like eggs. A wooden carving of my father, made by my father. Although, now that I look at it, I do not understand how he was able to paint the red parts without any red paint. It is a model of Freya, made by my father.
A model of Flora, you mean?
And a man with a beard. And a little red and white creature.
Why would my father make a model of Freya? I believe Freya was attempting to communicate something through this painting.
Any idea what it was?
I am not the person to ask. All I see is a blood-red mountain with angry storm clouds brewing above it. As such, I cannot ascertain any meaning from it whatsoever. There is a drawing of me, a drawing of Detective Hawkshaw, and a drawing of Poppy and Fitz.
Do you know who was reading this book?
It belongs to my mother.
And she left it in the library?
No, my mother has not been in the library for some time.
Fifi's bedroom should be unlocked now.
Can't wait.
A new suspect! Don't think you can get out being questioned just because you're a bear.
I'm innocent, I promise!
Save it for the judge. It's a magnifying glass. A big one.
How come you don't have one of those?
Why? Because I'm a detective? Should I start smoking a pipe too?
You couldn't pull off a pipe. I don't know what that drink is, but I bet it's 99% sugar.
I'd read you the ingredients, but there's nothing written on the can.
That's even worse.
What's that big book on the desk?
Looks like something Fifi's been writing.
Is it a clue?
I hope not. It's just a bunch of notes about her microbiology experiments.
What's that big book on the desk?
Looks like it's just a bunch of notes about her.
Scientific formulas, probably. I'll openly admit I have no idea what any of it means. Fifi's got something pinned up here.
What is all this?
That's gotta be Flora. Is that supposed to be me? Why do I look so angry?
That's just the face you make when you're thinking. Does make you wonder, though. When did Fifi draw all this?
And that's you, Sally.
What? I do not look like that, do I?
Who's that?
Not sure.
I think that's supposed to be Felix. Who's that?
Not sure.
Did you notice who isn't on here?
Freya?
Mm-hmm. And Fifi herself. Stuff Fifi's thrown away.
You gonna rummage through the trash can?
No, that is quite beneath me, thank you.
I give it 5 minutes before you're in there.
It looks like a microscope, a big one.
Can I touch it? I'm not sure this is a microscope.
I guess that's wrong.
The 4 lenses all have different magnification strengths, so they must each have a specific position along the rail.
Nope.
You need to magnify different parts of the image, so they line up into the shape of a key. Looks like you might need to overlap some of the lenses too.
Nothing.
You want to close up all the gaps on the spine of the key. Start by finding the parts that are too small or vice versa.
Nothing.
You want to close up all. Start by finding or vice versa.
Nothing.
You want to close up all the gaps. Start by or vice versa.
Nothing.
You want to start by vice versa.
Nothing.
You want to start by vice versa.
Reset the puzzle. Nothing.
You want to start by vice versa.
Just gonna rest my brain. A new suspect. Don't think you can get out being questioned just because you're a bear.
I'm innocent, I promise.
Save it for the judge.
Boxes of stuff.
What's that big book on the desk?
Looks like something Fifi's been writing.
Is it a clue?
I hope not. It's just a bunch of notes about her microbiology experiments.
Nice room.
It's a mess, but yeah. Boxes of stuff.
Fifi's got
What
something.
is all this?
Is that supposed to be me? Why do I look so angry?
That's just the face you make when you're thinking. Does make you wonder, though. When did Fifi draw all this?
Who's that?
Not sure.
Is Fifi trying to
Maybe. Did you ever try that?
That's you, Sally.
What? I do not look like that. Do I?
I think that's supposed to be feeling.
Who is that?
No idea. Who's that?
Not sure.
Who's that?
Not sure. Who is that?
No idea. Is Fifi...
Maybe. Did you ever try that?
Did you notice who isn't on here?
Freya?
Mm-hmm. And Fifi herself. Fifi's got something.
What is all this?
Stuff Fifi's
You're
thrown.
gonna rummage through the trash?
No.
I give it 5 minutes before you're in there.
A pretty ornate window.
We're supposed to be looking for...
And over here, a simple trick, but it really transforms. That's a whole lot of books.
There's a metal plaque on the bench.
Is there a message engraved on it?
I think there was at one point, but someone scratched it off.
Is that a clock?
If it is, it's a clock with 4 faces.
I'm guessing it doesn't tell the time.
So what does it do?
Nope.
So moving any of the hands turns the adjacent hands in the opposite direction. It's like cogs on a machine.
I guess that's wrong.
Did you work out what direction each hand needs to be facing? Each one ends with a little hoop. Try looking through the hoop and ignoring the rest.
Nothing.
It's just numbers on a clock. 3 on the right, 6 on the bottom, 9 on the left, and 12 on the top. You only need 90-degree angles. That should make it easier to work out.
Reset the puzzle. Nothing.
It's just numbers on a clock. 3 on the right, 6 on the bottom, 9 on the left, and 12 on the top. You only need 90-degree angles. That should make it easier to work out.
Nothing.
It's just numbers on 3 on the right, 6 on the... You only need 90-degree angles. That should make it easier to work out.
Nothing.
It's just numbers 3 on the right. You only need 90-degree.
Nothing.
It's just numbers on a clock. 3 on the right, 6 on the bottom, 9 on the left, and 12 on the top. You only need 90-degree angles. That should make it easier to work out.
Reset the puzzle. Nothing.
It's just numbers on a clock. 3 on the right. You only need 90-degree angles.
Nothing.
It's just numbers. 3 on the right, 6 on the bottom, 9 on the left, and 12 on the top. You only need 90-degree angles. That should make it.
Nothing.
It's just 3 on the right. You only need 90-degree angles.
Nothing.
It's just numbers. 3 on the right. You only need 90-degree angles.
Nothing.
It's just numbers. 3 on the right. You only need 90-degree angles. That should make it easier to work out.
Nothing.
It's just numbers. 3 on the right. You only need 90-degree angles.
Nothing.
It's just numbers. 3 on the right, 6 on the bottom, 9 on the left, and 12 on the top. You only need 90-degree angles.
Reset the puzzle. Reset the puzzle. Nothing.
It's just numbers on a clock. 3 on the right, 6 on the bottom, 9 on the left, and 12 on the top. You only need 90-degree angles. That should make it easier to work out.
No, that was it.
Nice work. What's in the box?
A little tool thing? Looks like a telescope, but I'm not actually sure what it is.
Looks like it might be about to fall apart. Grimoire, you go first.
You ever see a mushroom?
Not in real life. It's a sea serpent turned into stone.
Have you? What happened to its...
Beheaded by the same wizard.
These plants are getting...
I didn't know we were supposed to be smelling things. A pointless little stone.
I don't know. Might
Want to
be...
play hide and seek?
I could be persuaded.
Whoa. Nice cape.
You're not fellows or pointers. I'm sure I shall immediately regret asking. But who are you, and what is your business here?
I'm Sally, and this is my sidekick Grimoire.
A private detective, Grimoire.
Really? You're a detective. If this is a joke, it's not a good one.
Who are you, anyway?
Private Detective Hawkshaw.
Oh, nice. Hawkshaw's a cooler name than Grimoire. Maybe I'll become her sidekick.
You're not on the Freya Fellow case, too, are you?
That is classified information between myself and my client. Clearly, this is something which eludes you. But a real detective refrains from handing out informations to persons unknown.
Oh, right.
Now, if you would, I have work to do. It's not in my interest to discuss personal details.
Even if you're one of the suspects in a murder?
Very well. Let us make a small exception. Ask.
Oh, what are you doing here?
I'm on a case at the behest of my client.
How long have you been at Tangle Tower?
133 hours. 5.5 days.
Who are you working for?
I am not at liberty to answer that. Now, I shall permit you one more question.
What crime are you...
How'd you get that scar? It's cool.
You really think so? As it happens, I completed an examination of Flora's room on the morning before the murder. I've been investigating every single room at Tangle Tower. Hers was one of the last on my list.
Did you find anything unusual?
Nothing but a thin layer of dust and an atmosphere of somber melancholy.
Was Flora in there at the time?
She spent the duration of my search staring up at the sky, out the open window. Didn't say a word, although I'm told this is the expected behavior.
What did you do after that?
I spent the early evening searching the library. It took longer than it should have. Fiona leaves that room in a permanent state of disarray.
Fiona was in the library too?
I expected her to make an appearance, but she did not.
And you stayed in the library the rest of the day?
Not quite. Towards the early evening, my examination of the library was unexpectedly disrupted. Sounds of running, wailing, shouting from several floors above. I vacated the library, but before I could begin my ascent, Professor Pointer appeared. He emerged from the Pointer staircase, crossed the hall, and begun up the fellow staircase. Our eyes met. He was breathless. Something had caused him great alarm. He told me to stay out of the way. I consented. I decided to return to my office in the stone square. As I was passing through the front door, Penelope called out from behind me. She was clutching the banister of the Pointer staircase with an apprehensive manner. She wished to know where Professor Pointer had gone. I told her what had transpired. Then, she too crossed the hall and disappeared up the fellow staircase. More so than at any moment prior, I felt like quite an intruder in the house. I took my leave, out towards the stone square. The grounds were silent. There were no signs of human life. Even the greenhouse was without its typical inhabitant. I noted that he, too, must be entangled in whatever was transpiring in Fellow Tower. An unremarkable hour passed before the gardener finally made his appearance. He spoke to me of what had occurred. His report was as clumsy and cumbersome as the man giving it.
Did he seem upset?
He was rattled. That much was clear. But sorrowful, mournful, I cannot say. Quite the stoic statue, isn't she? I can only dream of being as cold and indifferent as Flora Fellow.
You think she's hiding something?
Perhaps. She has some strange habits. I heard she barely sleeps, an hour here or there, sporadically. Spends the rest of her time staring up at the sky. Did you get anything useful out of him?
Not sure. What about you?
Nothing worth committing to paper.
I think he knows more than he lets on.
Probably. But talking with him is so tedious. Considerably intelligent, and her powers of observation are enviable. But she has no ambition. No focus.
In her defense, she's still a teenager.
Barely. 314 cases solved. 314. Freya Fellow is of great interest to me. I perceived her to be the most intelligent individual here at Tangle Tower. Within a day, she had identified for whom I was working and for what I was searching. I didn't know how she did it. I was impressed. I regret that I did not question her more thoroughly when I had the opportunity.
You couldn't have known she was about to be killed, though.
I have only myself to blame for failing to perceive the signs.
What signs?
I do not wish to do your job for you, Detective. Tangle Tower. No idea why they insist on calling it that. It's not even a tower. It's little more than a pair of turrets stuck on either side of a mansion.
Have you searched the whole place?
I believe so. Why?
He wants to know if you found any secret rooms.
Ha! I'm afraid the residents of Tangle Tower are far too ordinary for anything like that. I was disappointed, too. You truly consider this a case file?
What's wrong with it?
No organization, no system.
That's my style. I like seeing everything laid out at once. Yeah, it helps me think.
How quaint. Have you deciphered the meaning of those 4 symbols on the harp?
We're working on it.
That's a no, then. Conveniently left anonymous. It's useless until you can prove to whom it concerns. Can you do that?
No?
No. Makes quite an impression, doesn't it? Although I can't imagine why she painted Flora wielding a knife.
You didn't see a knife anywhere in Flora's room, did you?
I did not. I conclude whatever stabbed Freya must have been brought into the room from outside. Unless, of course, it was the painting itself.
Surely you don't believe in that kind of thing.
A detective's job is to examine every avenue of thinking. A somewhat cumbersome device, and an altogether inefficient way to listen to music.
What kind of music do you like, Hawkshaw?
I like anything.
What a cop-out.
I believe that was in Flora's room yesterday, but it was not cracked when I saw it last. You got it open. I'm impressed. I managed it myself yesterday. I thought Flora might be hiding something in there.
It was empty yesterday, too.
It was. Perhaps it's always been empty. These figurines remind me of a case I once solved involving a possessed doll. Turned out to be a bit of a smokescreen, as these things often do.
Your life sounds fun. Grimoire, why don't we ever have fun adventures like that?
Are we not having a fun adventure right at this very moment?
I'd tell him not to quit his day job, but he hasn't got one, has he?
When did Freya draw the picture of you, Hawkshaw?
I didn't model for her, if that's what you're asking. She must have done it without my permission.
Could just be from memory. It's not quite as detailed as the others anyway.
I admit, it's powerful. Freya was a talented young woman.
Someone even liked it enough to take a photo of it.
Now, we don't know why they took the photograph, do we? Perhaps they just wanted it for reference. A book from the library. One of hundreds, no doubt. What makes this one special?
It's about birds.
Yes, I see that.
This belongs to you, Hawkshaw?
Correct.
And, what is it?
It's my handheld microscope for up-close investigation work.
What do you magnify with it?
Trace particles, dust, oils, clothing fibers.
Have you used it here at Tangle Tower?
I have. I used it to examine the greenhouse only 2 days ago.
What were you looking for?
That is between myself and my client.
More of that weird lake water.
Really makes me... Are we on
Beats me.
It's Tangle Tower, or at least it's the... A giant glowing...
AKA a greenhouse.
This one's in a little pot.
Okay, that is definitely not edible.
It looks like a gemstone, don't you think? This one's in a little...
Okay, that is definitely...
Looks like a gemstone, don't you think?
Tools. used by a gardener for gardening.
It's glass, but I can't see through it.
Total oxymoron.
I am not.
Hanging baskets.
To you, maybe.
You're only 2 inches taller than me.
2 inches makes all the difference.
All the
Can
fluff.
fly.
Anything can be poison.
Good to know.
That's a handsome beetle. Looks like he might have magic powers. A little chart of, actually, I have no idea what it's about. Kinda reminds me of a periodic table. Kinda reminds me of a periodic table. Kinda reminds me of a periodic table. Kinda reminds me of a periodic table.
What do you make of it?
Not a whole lot.
Sally, don't move. We're being watched.
Yeah, I see him. He's a little too big to hide in the bushes. Is anyone going to say anything? Or shall we just stand around staring at each other?
Right, sorry.
Sorry.
That's better. I'm Sally. And the guy hiding behind me is Detective Grimoire. Who are you?
Fitz Fellow, the gardener.
Mm-hmm. And why are you so tall?
I don't know.
You work here as the gardener.
I don't get paid to do it. It's just my area of interest.
What's the deal with the plants? They're all kinda weird.
Right. Did you see the lake?
That giant green and purple lake surrounding the entire house? Yeah, I clocked it.
The color is just a byproduct.
Of what? Poison?
It's not poisonous. Not to you.
What's this got to do with the plants?
The water controls all life, just like anywhere else on the planet. Clouds form, rain falls. The water grows the plants, animals eat the plants. Anything you've perceived as an irregularity is simply a result of this hydrological cycle.
Could you say that again, but like condense it as if you were talking to a slightly stupid person?
Our lake water causes the unpredictable alteration of DNA. Sometimes.
Alteration? Like mutation?
That'd be the official term. For us, it's normal. Just nature.
And you're the local expert on all this stuff?
No. I'm just the gardener. I was in my greenhouse, watering.
Sounds
Was
exciting.
Not at first. She likes
Did you-
a little. We both left. I went up to see after that.
Let me guess.
Right.
Did anything?
I was in my greenhouse, watering and weeding.
Sounds exciting.
Was anyone else around?
Not at first. Penelope came in a little later. She likes looking at the flowers, I think.
Did you speak to each other?
A little, not too much. We both left the greenhouse in the early afternoon. I went up to my room. Then I came back outside to weed the main gardens. Didn't see anyone else. After that, I went up to the garden outside my room.
And?
Let me guess. Watering and weeding.
Right.
Did anything happen to you yesterday, Fitz?
Fitz's room is unlocked. It's up in the Fellow Tower.
This could be interesting.